Hello, guys, and welcome to the Legendary Ladies podcast. And we are doing a pretty on time spooky season. We usually start earlier, but Amy's pick came out in theaters, but also is officially coming out on Netflix in November. So we all just decided we're going to watch the Netflix version. That way we don't have to leave the house. So that is coming out in November. And we are still doing the spooky season for Amy, and that's going to be Frankenstein. But me and Morgan have our choices for spooky season. And this is my choice, which is 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is one of my favorite movies of all time and one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So, yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I have a feeling Amy does.
No. Here's the thing. I love, so far, every spooky season pick that we've picked. I'm going to hop right in. I loved 10 Cloverfield Lane. I thought it was excellent. I actually thought it was a little predictable. And that
the ending
bothered me.
I felt like that was the part.
Wait, what do you mean? The aliens? Obviously, do you not?
You thought that was predictable?
Yes.
No, okay. So what's funny is I've only ever seen 10 Cloverfield Lane, so I never seen Cloverfield. So at the end, I'm like, that's shocking to me because I've never seen any other movies.
Based on general pop culture knowledge, I knew that Cloverfield was monsters. I also have never seen Cloverfield. The shaky cam gives me major motion sickness.
I remember when it came out, and a lot of people were like puking in the movie theater, like it was making people sick, and I was like, that feels like it's not for me, which is funny because I love found footage horror movies. A lot of them are bad, but that's okay. I'm like not even put off by that. I'll watch every Paranormal Activity that they come out with, no matter how bad it is. So it's funny that I haven't seen the original Cloverfield, but I think I got like so put off by the people describing it when they went to go see the theaters, like coming out like queasy. I was like, that one, no thanks.
And I don't love sci-fi movies, so that's why I was like, I don't know if I need. And but this one, I don't even know how I ended up watching it. If I'm being honest, like I saw it not in theaters. I saw it
excellent. The trailer's really well done. So like I could see you having seen the trailer, and you're like, yes, this I need to watch, because the trailer in and of itself is its own movie.
I also really love the main actress, Mary Elizabeth Winston. I just really enjoy her. She's plays Huntress in Birds of Prey. She is in Final Destination 3, which is one of my other favorite horror movies. So I really like the actor a lot. Another fun fact, and I saw this movie before I became friends with Phil and his siblings, but his sister is a really, really, really big fan of the guy who's in this movie, John Gallagher Jr., because he's from Spring Awakening, the musical. But he's also an actor that nobody knows. So we go see random ass movies. We went to go see something called ISS. Anything that he's in, we always go see. But he's the only. He's from Spring Awakening and he's from this movie. But other than that, he's not he's a working actor, but he's not like a famous actor. But it's so funny that she's obsessed with him. And I didn't even know he was in this movie. And then I was like, oh, I remember him. And now we see all his movies that are like $10 budget, but it's very interesting.
So funny.
I'm still caught on the fact that you didn't know that there were going to be aliens in this. Because here's the thing. This is it's like watching The Witcher Blood Origins and being like, oh my God, there's a Witcher in this series? It's called
he becomes
10
a
Cloverfield Lane. It's gonna involve Cloverfield, which
I think that John Goodman, but he convinces you so much that something else is happening. He just convinces you.
Okay. Oh no. So that for me was the only downside, is I loved the character stuff, but I felt like I saw everything coming.
That's so interesting.
Oh, well, that's definitely not, he definitely killed this girl. I was like, he's not talking about his daughter. He totally kidnapped someone. He was responsible for killing them.
You were ahead of that. No. So I watched this for the first time a couple years ago because of Kat, because Kat was like, 10 Cloverfield Lane's so good. And when Kat gives me a horror movie recommendation, I just run out and I watch it because she's not steered me wrong at any point. And
I think I'm so hard on horror movies. That's if I'm recommending it to you, it's probably good.
It's probably good. And I knew the Cloverfield thing, like, from context clues, I had heard it was, like, an alien movie, so that twist, like, didn't, like, surprise me, but also, I feel like that twist probably didn't surprise most people who went to see 10 Cloverfield Lane,
Yes.
but the twist where it was, like, they're kind of setting you up at first to think that John Goodman is a bad guy, and then, there's sort of a twist, like, where, "Oh,
He just
he's
likes board
right."
games.
Yeah, he's
But
right. This guy's right. Like, there actually did something bad did happen outside, and then you're like, "Oh, John Goodman's okay. He's an alright guy. He's pretty cool." And then the twist again where it's like, "No, he's not."
I think
That was the one I didn't see where I was like, "Uh-oh."
yeah.
I think one of the most visceral kills I've seen in a movie is the acid stuff in this
Oh,
movie.
I
yeah.
loved
And
that.
I still think about, like, when I think about this movie, I think about that kill more than anything. But honestly, what I like about the movie too is that it is a horror movie, obviously, but it's more of a thriller. Obviously, it's a sci-fi because it's a Cloverfield movie. It's very quiet. The budget's probably very cheap for this, besides the actors.
Oh yeah, there's like 2 sets.
Yeah.
It's such a special movie that's what I love about horror, or ones that kind of stay with you. Like Barbarian, it was a quick, oh my god, I love this movie. It's gonna stay with me forever.
Mhm.
And I just love that movie, and it's
Such a
just
good
it makes me
movie.
feel something. Yeah, because it makes me feel something. Because, like, I've told you guys this before, and if you've watched the podcast before, I don't really get scared from horror movies very often because
Same.
my best friend growing up, he really hates pop-up scares. Like, tremendous. He doesn't like thunder. He doesn't like balloons popping, but he loves horror movies. He's like, what got me into horror stuff? Like, he got me into a lot of the slashers because his parents showed it to him. But anytime I saw a horror movie with him, he would jump in my seat. He would, like, physically hurt me by accident because he was so scared. So I'm so, like, I don't even care about
Nothing
what's going on
phases
You're
the screen
you.
desensitized.
because of what was always happening to me next to me. So I just don't really get scared from horror movies. So, but what I love about horror movies, when you could feel something and you could feel, like, the thrillerness of it all. And I think this movie does a good job at the creepiness on a human level. That Barbarian does a very similar thing. The reason why that's creepy is not because, like, there's a mama creature in the background. It's because, we've all, especially as women, felt the way that main character has felt. So that is why it's such a strong movie. And then same thing for here. It's like, we haven't been trapped by John Goodman, but you could feel what she's going through and the fear of him and the situation, which I really love about this movie.
Yeah, I think the tension that this movie manages to build is, like, part of what makes it so
Yeah.
good, because 'cause you're really in the role of the main character, Michelle. You really feel how she feels, and you really are asking yourself the same questions that she's asking, like, "Was I just kidnapped? Like, this guy's telling me that there was some sort of, like, world-ending event, and, like, the air is not safe, and there's radiation, but, like, is he lying?" And then you'll see these,
Mhm.
like, clues that, like, maybe he's not lying. Like, you come in assuming that he's lying, and then little by little, you get these clues that maybe he's not. And I think that, like, going along on that journey with the main character really pulls you into the movie, and it
Yeah.
makes the movie go really fast, and it makes you, like, on the edge of your seat.
It's not a
Yeah.
long one either.
No,
That's
it's really
really
not.
what I love about it.
I I think what I liked about it is that it's being such a contained space, you are required to connect with the characters, and if you don't connect with the characters, it doesn't sell. And so the fact that it does sell tells you how good this characterization is. As I was Okay, so backtracking a little bit, these two have been responsible for getting me more and more into horror. But what I'm discovering is I really enjoy reading horror and writing horror. Horror,
Ooh,
gothic horror, suspense, all that kind of
I
stuff. I
have
love all these
noticed
like
that for you.
yeah.
I really like writing it, and it's so fun, and because of it, like, I'm starting to really get into the joy of the little clues that are put in these psychological and thriller horrors. I don't like the jump scare stuff because to me that doesn't give you what you really like. It doesn't get me, it doesn't scratch my itch, which is such a terrible phrase. Ugh, I never say that again. But I liked that there were just enough clues in this in this story to be able to basically figure it out. And personally, I go back and forth because sure, I wanted to have a little bit more surprises, but at the same time, I get a little bit of satisfaction of being like, called it.
I will
The
say
only
you were one. I don't want to say one of the few people that called it because I'm sure people called the ending, but like most people thought the ending was a twist. So I think
well, for me, the twist in the ending was I was expecting him to have survived. I
mm.
was waiting for her to survive the alien and for him to literally claw his way out of the bunker and like pull her down with him.
Like Michael
Um
Myers style, like
yes.
he's
Like I was waiting
popping
for
up.
that and that ended up not happening. But otherwise I enjoyed this. The other thing that I was actually more suspicious about Emmett, the other
Mm.
younger gentleman, than the old guy. Old guy, I'm like, he's a serial killer. But Emmett, I was like, is Emmett responsible? Because at some point he actually he says a line about like, oh, she'll never know what to do when she gets up there. She doesn't understand the design, which made me think that Emmett helped this guy build this bunker. That's why he knew to show up, because they talk about the fact that like Emmett knew to come to the right place when the world is ending. He knew how to get there right at the right time. And so I think he was probably responsible for helping put
Yeah,
this like
But
I
I
together.
don't
think
think
they
the
say that.
bunker. I don't know if that bunker, like, I don't know if that paints him as a bad guy because I think he was just like, oh, the world's ending. I kind of want to prepare for this, but I don't know if he's like, I want to kill this girl.
I think they actually say early that Emmett was helping. What was this John Goodman's character named Howard or something? Like Emmett was the one who was helping him install all the stuff in the bunker. Like that's how he knew about the bunker. He was doing like odd jobs for this kind of weird guy just for the money. And that's why when things started popping off, he knew, I know where I can find a bunker, basically. But I can definitely see where you might think while you're watching it, like, okay, well, if like John Goodman's bad, like what if this guy's bad?
Well,
So
and it's almost like the reverse because we talked about Barbarian already, but it's almost like the reverse Barbarian in some ways because
Mhm.
like the whole movie, you're like, is he it? Is he bad? Is he bad? And then I don't know if they ever give again. They never get the answer for Emmett. They're not like he's bad, he's good. He's just kind of obviously his fate is
they
his fate.
did.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, there's also so before I watched the movie, I read a summary for Cloverfield because I had started
Mhm.
watching Cloverfield and just couldn't
and you're
handle
like, is
it.
this right?
So I watched a summary and I watched the final scene. And in the final scene
Ah.
of Cloverfield, do you guys care if I spoil it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, spoiler alert. You can all stop if you don't want to hear. In the final scene, they're having a found footage of the two main characters at Coney Island, and they're like just taking a pretty picture, like a video of the gorgeous ocean, and really hard to see it. You actually see a satellite fall from the sky and land in the ocean, which is responsible for releasing the monsters. So the idea of like satellites and maybe even Navy satellites being part of the lore of Cloverfield is
Mm.
present in 10 Cloverfield Lane when Howard mentions more than once that he has helped build satellites for the Navy. So for me, that's why I was like, I fully believe that he's telling the truth, because he probably had a friend who was like, bruh, the world is being invaded by aliens, you crazy person who thinks doomsday is happening. It's actually happening, and that's why he panicked, drove home as fast as he could, and locked himself into his doomsday room.
And I think a lot of the tension too, at least for me as someone who didn't really think about the alien stuff, is when they get to that door and you're like, if you go outside, you're not gonna be able to breathe. Like, what's going on? And I think that's like the fear you create in your own head while you're watching it, which I really liked. And again, goes back to the type of horror that really succeeds in this movie. So I really enjoyed that. Trying to think if there's any other like extreme talking points besides like I love this movie, but
Yeah, no,
I
I like how good, like, well established Michelle is as a character. Like, I think she gets into the bunker within like the first 2 minutes of the movie, basically. But I do feel like you are already kind of like interested in what's going on with her, like what her deal is, and I think that they establish her really well really quickly because
Mhm.
they don't want to spend like a lot of time being like, this is who this main character is and you should care about her. They're like, nope, straight to the bunker for her.
And you
And
don't
it
know her
works.
life either. You don't really
No.
know anything outside the bunker. It's just more of it really for this movie in particular is just a study of acting for sure. And obviously writing too, but it's like she has to sell this character and somehow she does it, you know?
I think for me, who's the actor who plays Howard?
John
John
Goodman.
Goodman.
Thank you. I think he was the strongest because
Well, you know
he,
where he's from, right? Or have
I
you
mean,
not seen him?
John Goodman though, like
yeah,
He's
I
from
would
yeah.
expect him to be good.
yeah, but like he's the way he sold this character was so creepy
I like
serial
his
killer.
dance moves.
Oh
I
my
think
god, the dance when they realize he's a when they realize that he has like kidnapped and probably killed somebody, and then he
Hmm.
comes up and he puts the thing on the jukebox and starts like twerking around. It's so good.
It's
What
so
song was it
good.
again? What song? I don't remember
Oh,
because it's been
I
a
can't
while.
remember. And
But
I
I think
just
it was in the
watched it the other
trailer
day.
too. They did it in the trailer, but they like slowed it down. Like the trailer is great for it. Like
The
it's a great,
trailer's
great trailer.
wonderful.
Yeah, I really like
I
the trailer a lot.
Okay, so if you were going to try to describe in like one or two sentences why you think this is so good, Kat, you specifically because you love it so much and it's one of your favorite horror films. If a person off the street is like, why is it so good? What do you say?
I'll say I think they build tension really well. I think it shows horror in a way that isn't cheap. I feel like it's actually scary because of the characters and what they're going through. To someone who's maybe more into movies and TV, I would say it's a bottle episode pretty much, but as a movie, I also like how claustrophobic it is.
Hmm.
And I do like that you don't need to watch the other Clover. Like I've never seen Cloverfield before, but you
Yeah.
can watch this movie. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I'd be curious from a Cloverfield a fan's point of view if they're satisfied by this movie or not. But I like that. I don't need to watch anything else to understand this journey and this character piece. So
Part of me wishes it wasn't, attached to Cloverfield because if it was called 10 something other something else Lane, I literally would have been so, like, that about the alien twist. I really would have been so shocked about
Hmm.
it, and I wouldn't have seen it coming, but because I knew it was connected to Cloverfield, I knew there were gonna be the aliens or the monsters or whatever were gonna, probably pop up at some point because I knew that's what Cloverfield was about. So part of me even thinks that, like, the fun twist endings and the twists and stuff were a little bit spoiled just by the fact that it's part of this like Cloverfield universe. And I
Hmm.
think that the movie is so good. A part of me wishes it like wasn't part it didn't have Cloverfield in the name so
I
that
thought
people
about
would
that.
just be shocked when it
Hmm.
happened.
yeah, and obviously franchise movies in general. I can't. I'm trying to think of other, especially
Everything's
horror.
got to be a franchise, obviously.
And I guess that's why. I mean, I guess that's how people saw it, right? If this would have been a really an indie film, and
Yeah.
it's funny because I was watching this show because I randomly found out the one from Riverdale, Lily, whatever her name is, Rhinefield, whatever.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
in
yeah.
she's in this show called Harper and Hal or Hal and Harper. And I was trying to find this show because she's gay in it. I'm like, oh, that's fun. And it's about these like two siblings who are codependent of each other. I'm like, oh, that sounds really introspective. And I was just like, it was so hard to find this show just to watch it. And I'm like, oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. And I watched it. I'm like, this is great. But no one's going to hear of it because it's like a Sundance show. Like it was on Sundance and probably 5 people have seen it. And I'm just like, oh, that's such a shame. And same thing could have happened with 10 Cloverfield Lane, where it's a double-edged sword because you're like, oh, another franchise movie. But then at least you get
It
a lot of people
also,
watching it, I guess.
but you also get the benefit of being able to tell this wonderful story and the whole underground bunker thing and then finish it off with a bang. Because you get that with something like the Witcher Blood Origins. You get something like that with Dune Prophecy. Having those connected worlds, but being able to tell prequels or sequels or things where you have just a touch of the original lore so that people understand what world they're in. I think that's the most critical part about the 10 Cloverfield Lane. I don't, I, I guess maybe it would have. I don't know if it would have sold as well for me if I didn't truly know and believe that he was telling the truth about the outside. Because I think the most shocking part to me was when she was trying to escape and she goes and she looks and she sees
Yeah.
proof that the outside world is fucked. Her being like, oh, I guess I have to just deal with this. I'm like, he's still a bad guy, but story-wise, it's good to see her understand that. And you, as the viewer, are like, she's quite literally fucked. Like, there's no way.
You can't
How is she
escape the
gonna get
serial
out of this?
killer. Hmm.
There's something nice about having that certainty that the outside world is truly in trouble. And I liked that. I liked having that little edge in there. Sometimes having those interconnected worlds is overwhelming and unnecessary. In this case, I think it was just enough.
Because you
I thought that
genuinely
did
didn't
just
need to
enough.
watch anything else. That was
Yeah.
the thing.
Correct.
And it is interesting because when I hear the criticisms for this movie, it usually is about the ending. It's usually like, oh, it feels like a different
I
movie. Why is this happening? You know?
I know that I went and I like logged it on my letterbox. I was like 5 stars, perfect film. Uh, we all know that my letterboxed ratings are notoriously generous. But I wanted to see like what other people said, and that was what I was noticing. A lot of people were complaining about the ending. They were like, oh,
Yeah.
it had me until the ending, but I really liked the ending. I think people are haters.
I
And
think also, sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think also that they were doing that kind of necessary backdoor pilot, so to speak, of like, does this screen well? Can we do another series of it? Can we do a sequel now? Because they did provide you enough information just in that last 3 minutes to get a whole sequel. You could do a whole HBO show, basically The Last of Us, based on those last 3 minutes.
Maybe a little bit better than The Last of Us has been. But I really like the very, very end of the movie where she I mean, all spoiler alert for this whole, podcast, but where she is, trying to decide if she's gonna go towards safety or if she's gonna go towards fighting, these creatures and, helping people out, and she chooses to go and fight. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that was such a after her whole experience where she's like kidnapped and she has to like claw her way out, that she went through all of this and she fought her way out and could be safe now, but she's choosing to fight and protect other people. I thought
Yeah.
that to me was such a good ending. Like, even if you don't love the alien stuff, I think that ending where she chooses to go and fight some more, to me, like, really makes the movie.
And
And
for me, I feel like the ending does work though, because of
Oh yeah.
everything. Even if you don't know what Cloverfield is, it's just like she didn't know what to expect from out there. And then who the frick would have expected aliens? I think again, we expected the air to be, weird or whatever, like that. Like that's how the film is kind of reading it. But to see that you can go outside, it's just that aliens are evading. I like that twist. It's always worked for me, but I get it not working for everybody. But I love when a narrative could kind of switch what you're expecting. Again, I'll go back to Barbarian, but that's a good example of a similar thing that happens in the middle of that movie where it's like kind of flips the switch and it's a completely different movie. So I like that ending, but like I said, I could understand why people don't love it. But then also, it's not that long of the movie, so
Yeah, it's
enjoy 95% of it then.
Yeah, it's literally like the last 10 minutes of the movie is like the ending with the aliens where she's like fighting the aliens. Yeah, exactly. If you enjoyed 95% of the movie, I want to say like you mostly enjoyed the movie. So I don't think
And that's the success of this too, because like you
exactly.
could have made it as a whole third act, and you're like, oh, let's fight the aliens. This
yeah.
wouldn't
That
have been a memorable movie.
Yeah,
Second
then
time.
I think it would have been too much. Yeah. It's interesting. I just looked it up on Wikipedia, and it said the development of it originated from an ultra low budget spec script that was
Yep.
originally titled The Cellar, and the tracking board included the script in the hit list of 2012.
Mm.
And then Paramount bought it and started developing it under Bad Robot, and then they like gave it like a code name or whatever. It seemed like they started to realize as they were making it, or like as they were going through passes of the script, that they could tie it into Cloverfield.
Mm-hmm.
um so I don't know that it didn't seem like it was originally developed as a Cloverfield thing. It's like they were like, as they were going through the process, like, huh, I think we could tie this to Cloverfield. It actually says that Mary, what's her name?
Mary Elizabeth
Mar-
Winston.
yeah, Mary
Winston.
Elizabeth Winston and John Gallagher like mentioned it says the Wikipedia says mentioned that during the production they were aware that the film had thematic similarities to Cloverfield, but they didn't learn that that would be an official connection until they were informed of the chosen title only days before the release of the
Oh my
trailer, which I
God.
think is
That's
really funny.
crazy. But
So,
I gotta watch
yeah,
that.
they
that's
didn't
kind
even
of what
really
makes
know.
and that's kind of what makes this movie at least so likable to me is that it's indie film meets franchise film. Like it does feel like an independent film, which tends to be the movies I like. I like introspective films, so I tend to like the character driven stuff. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of a test to its time. I don't think this would ever happen again because franchise movies are just not this. They're not like this
No.
this introspective film of where three actors are
They're
stuck
not
in a room.
bottle episode
Yeah.
franchise. It's just not
It's
a
just
thing.
I can't think of another franchise movie that has done
Um,
something like this.
not a movie, but I will say Dune Prophecy has a little bit of that going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Well,
my
a
dog.
TV show it's easier because it's like,
Yes.
here's one episode. But like for a movie, I can't think of anything that a franchise like, let's really do something
Yeah,
that's not explosive.
there was an interesting horror one for me that was kind of similar where there was like a movie called like Ouija. And then the
I do remember that.
sequel, which is called like Ouija Origin of Evil, is Mike Flanagan, who has done all like did the Haunting of Hill
Mhm.
House, the Bly Manor, all the good stuff. So when I heard he had done that, I was like, I feel like, do I have to watch the first one? And you don't. You can just watch the Ouija movie, Origin of Evil, without having watched the first one, and it plays really well. It's a really good movie. I hear that the first one's actually like so. Um, maybe kind of like Cloverfield. Again, I haven't seen Cloverfield, but I think people are more mixed on Cloverfield than they are on this one, on 10 Cloverfield Lane. So I feel like that's another example of one where it's like the first one is the second movie in the series, quote unquote, is completely divorced from the first one. Like you don't actually have to have seen it. But that is rare, I will say.
You get it.
Eh,
You get it a lot more in books. So I will
Yeah.
say, Lee Bardugo's series, the Shadow and Bone series, and the Six of Crows series. Shadow and Bone came out first. Six of Crows is in the same universe, existing at the same time, but on the other side of the continent. So the universe in this is in the same like vein as in the places and the types of characters, like the magical powers or whatever. But it's a completely different story, and they only come together on, I don't know, book 4 of a later one. So like it was nice because I could start with Six of Crows. I actually had no idea it was in the same universe as Shadow and Bone, but then I can go back and really enjoy that. And you could do it a lot easier in books.
Yeah, books do that a lot, especially like romance series. They do that all the time where there'll be like there'll be a whole series of
mm.
romance books, and the first book will be like this one couple, and then the second book will be like the love story of her sister or something like that, where like
Like
the
Bridgerton.
couple. Yeah, exactly. It's
Literally
literally the
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton model. And they do that with romance novels like all the
All
time.
the
There'll be like
time.
series, quote unquote, but like you could start on like book 2 and you're fine. Like
Yeah.
literally you're fine because it's more of a self-contained story in a shared universe versus like the Marvel thing where if you miss a movie, you're like, who's this now?
Yeah.
And we need more of that. And again, obviously, there's a space for Marvel. There's a space for DC Comics.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
of course.
not taking away from that, but I do like a good movie where you just don't need to
I
know
like
what happened in the last
I
one.
like a movie that's a movie. The movies have been going more towards like a TV model lately. It
Yeah.
feels like to me in the last couple years, and weirdly TV has been going into like a
Yeah.
more movie model where like
Yes.
you used to get like an episode of the week kind of TV show, and now everything is like a long serialized
Long
story. It's like
format. Yeah.
a movie over 10 episodes or whatever, and then you go to the movie theaters and you're like, oh no, I missed the episode before this one, I'll never catch up.
Well, I think I just saw this on Facebook. I think it's true. I don't know. But Stranger Things, the finale is 2 hours, which we know,
Of course.
is going to be in movie theaters. The finale in
Huh.
That
movie theaters. That's weird. I'm not saying maybe I'll go to the theaters to go, but I'm saying like it's a
theaters
TV
need anything they
show
can get right now.
and they're going into theaters. Like I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it is showing like that's a TV show.
Everything about Stranger Things makes me laugh a little bit because, like, I saw a list the other day of all the TV shows that have started and ended in like in between like Stranger Things seasons, and it was a long list. That show has only come out with like what 4 seasons in like 10+ years.
Yeah, and again, great show. Like I'm
Yeah,
not taking away
great
from
show.
it, and
I
it did
I
a
really
lot.
like it, but like there's no reason it should take like 7 years to come out with like a season.
Tell that to George
No.
R. Martin.
He's
How
never
long it
writing those books.
He's not. He's like, I'm just swimming in money.
Imagine you had like all the whole world waiting for you, and he's like,
Yeah.
no
It's
pressure.
like goddamn writer's block. So I think we could probably start wrapping up, but there is something I wanted to say on the subject of the ending of this film, like the very, very, very end. Lyrically, it's beautiful because both she and Emmett tell their stories of running away from challenges and running away from things that they can never deal with. He never gets on the bus. He is scared that he's going to fail. She leaves every time something gets hard because, and she runs away from that. She tells that story about her watching the girl with her dad in the drugstore. And her whole life she has run away from things. And so lyrically, like this is when horror to me feels just so crisp and well done, when you can sit there and dissect the script like it's a novel. And I love that to me is deeply satisfying. And that ending where she even the way that they film her turning the car, where it makes it look like she's gonna go away, and then she's like, nah man, I'm going to Houston, with like the lightning cracks and the evil spaceships in the background. Oh, brilliant, beautiful, love it.
I'm just glad we're able to show you a little bit of horror. So again, like I know there's so many different versions of horror. Like Morgan, you do not like body horror.
Thought
like,
there were jump
No, I
scares.
can't do it.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't love jump scare movies for the very reason I mentioned in the beginning. I just like I don't find fear.
Tickled.
Exactly. Like I don't like when they rely on it, because the whole point is like I'm scared, right? And it's just like, well, if I don't feel scared about the jump scares, what else is there from this movie? And most of the time there's not much. So I don't love the jump scare movies, and I think especially when I was growing up, there's a lot that was like all of horror movies was remakes and jump scares, because we were like playing off The Grudge and everything like that. So there was a lot of movies like that when I grew up. But yeah, no, I'm glad that you're seeing there's other sides of horror and
learning so much.
Why I enjoy the genre, and I'm glad you liked it. I think this, again, it's just one of my favorite movies. It's fantastic, and I want to see more movies like this in theaters, because now we kind of live in the world of also a lot of options. So it's really hard to find these movies, and I try to make an effort to like look at what's the best movies of the year and like see what people think are the best movies of the year. And even then, like it's hard to find what's the best.
I make an effort to educate people.
I try, or at least educate myself. I enjoy my little letterbox. I like my little letterbox stuff. I was like looking for, like I found a Japanese movie because of it, and I was like, oh, I want to watch that. But then I'm also like, only one person talked about this. Like, is anyone else talking about it? Like, it's hard to
Which
find.
movie?
It's called Happy End, and it's I think a post-apocalyptic movie. I haven't seen it yet.
Just
but it's
an anime that was amazing, and that's gonna drive me nuts.
What anime?
I have to find it. It was with like a virtual movie night with some of my friends, and it was so emotional.
Imagine it's just like Demon Slayer.
No.
No, it's not that one. Well, you have to let us know. I love movies like that, and I just like finding good movies. That's how I found that TV show I was talking about. It's just like I randomly stumbled upon it, and it just seemed like a really fun show, but no one's talking about it. You know, it's not one. That's why I don't think we even do it here, because I just don't think people would really be watching it besides the Riverhead hardcore Riverhead. The Riverdale. I was gonna call it the Riverheads, and I meant the Riverheads that love Riverdale.
I feel like the Riverdale fans should adopt Riverheads as their like fandom name.
I hope they have already.
We Riverheads over here.
We love Riverheads. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it. So, Amy, where does it rank for you? You've seen now Scream. You've seen some of these classic films. Where does this one rank?
This is pretty high. I don't know if I would be able to compare it with them because I've only seen sporadic few. I will say, those of you who are listening on our Patreon right now will get a chance to listen to us currently, right after we record this, talk about Sinners. Sinners is top tier. I am so excited to talk about this film. But yeah, it's pretty high. This is pretty solid. I would recommend it to anyone who says, "Oh, was that a good movie?" I'd say yes, absolutely, go watch it right now.
And I feel like I honestly wouldn't have, like, watched this movie if Kat hadn't recommended it to me. It's one of those ones where it's like I would have nothing against it, but I would have no reason to have watched it. But when I did, I was like, "Oh my god, this movie is great." So I do feel like I will, like, pass it on when I'm talking to people and saying about horror movies, and to be like, "Listen, you should really check out 10 Cloverfield Lane." But I feel like it has kind of gotten a little bit of a second life from people who saw it and really enjoyed it, telling other people, no, you don't have to watch the first one. It's like not even kind of like that.
Well, I'm glad, guys. Yeah, that's our episode. We are going to talk about Sinners. I'll be, I think, before this posted, but we're recording it after. So subscribe to our Patreon, the Legendary Ladies, if you want to watch us all at the same time, because we are recording in the same night, and we're doing 2 episodes on Patreon.
Some midnight horror chat.
Exactly.
We do.
Spooky.
Spooky horror chat. But Amy, what's coming up for you? That way you can plug all your stuff.
I'm on a break. It's beautiful. After a whole summer of Shakespeare, I am taking a break. So right now, it's me, my dog, and I on Instagram. Amy_Marie. No, that's not my Instagram anymore. That's my old one. My current
did you
Instagram
change
is
it?
Amy_HYP. No, it's been changed for like 3 years, but I
I was about to be like, what?
Nothing big right now. Thank the Lord.
How about you, Morgan?
You can find me as a co-host on Supergirl Radio, where we just got done talking about the crypto limited the limited series, and I think now we're gonna do a spooky. We're actually gonna do the Steph Brown Batgirl run, one issue of it, where she teams up with Supergirl. We're gonna do
That's
that
a fun
for
one.
our spooky season pick, and then after that, I think we're gonna go into the Peter David Supergirl run, which
Another
I
good
hear is
one.
very wacky and out there.
So
it's very different.
That's what I hear.
Content you guys are able to cover, like.
There's a lot of Supergirl.
There's so much Supergirl. Like we haven't yet, like we haven't gone back to the older stuff very much. So this is pretty fun. And Supergirl has a new ongoing, which is really fun. So we've actually now we have one new issue of Supergirl content at least per month. Which is exciting. And then obviously the movie's coming out next summer, Summer of Supergirl, on its way.
And Peter David's run is 50 issues. So
it's so long. I think we're gonna try to kind of chunk it instead of doing one issue at a time. Because if we did that, we would be going straight through the Summer of Supergirl. So I think we're gonna try to cover the first volume before the end of the year, but we'll see how that goes.
I think that's smart. And then for me at Comic No, we have our witching season comic book right now. Morgan's in it. If you like witches and horror, you should go check it out. Yeah, it's very fun.
Spooky.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is the Legendary Ladies, and stay legendary.